Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are asking a very important question: which supplements actually work? I'm doing a review of the 8 most popular supplements in the world, telling you what works and what does not. Magnesium, creatine, ashwagandha, berberine, collagen. You've likely seen this all over your social media feeds lately. Somebody on your phone is telling you every one of these will change your life, and they usually have a discount code. I am Dr. Roberts, and today I am going to go through the 8 most popular supplements in the world right now and tell you honestly which ones have real evidence behind them, which ones are mostly marketing, and which ones carry risks nobody mentions. I am not selling any of them. I have nothing to gain either way. I just want to give you the facts. Stay to the end, because the last section is about how supplements interact with prescription medicines, and that part genuinely matters for your safety. Quick note first, this is general information. Talk to your own doctor before starting anything, especially if you take regular medication. Before we go through them one by one, I want to give you a rule that will save you a great deal of money. A supplement corrects a deficiency. It does not give you a superpower. It is about bringing levels back to baseline. If you are low in something, replacing it can make a real difference, sometimes a dramatic one for your health. If your levels are already fine, adding more usually does nothing and occasionally does harm. Remember that one sentence. Now let us go through them. Vitamin D first, because this is the one where the deficiency is genuinely widespread. Roughly 1 billion people worldwide are deficient, and close to half the global population sits below the accepted threshold. You make it in your skin from sunlight, so the people most at risk are those who get little sun or live far from the equator. This includes those who have darker skin, who cover up, who work indoors, or who are older. It is a very broad group. Deficiency causes tiredness, muscle weakness, bone pain, and in children, rickets. Correcting a true deficiency is worthwhile. But note the honest limit. The evidence that giving extra vitamin D to people who are already sufficient prevents a long list of diseases has been disappointing in large trials. It's not a magic shield if you already have enough. So test rather than guess where you can, and take a sensible daily dose rather than enormous ones. Know that very high doses over long periods cause harm through excess calcium. Do not overdo it. This is the supplement most worth taking, and also the one people most often overdo. Check your levels first. Magnesium next, currently the most searched supplement in the world. It is involved in hundreds of reactions in your body. 3-TIAC is genuinely low in a lot of people who eat little in the way of nuts, seeds, beans, and leafy greens. The honest evidence: it helps if you are low, and results for sleep and anxiety in people with normal levels are modest and mixed. The form matters more than the marketing suggests. Citrate and oxide draw water into the bowel and loosen your stools, which is useful if you are constipated and unpleasant if you are not. Glycinate is gentler and better tolerated at night. If you have kidney disease, do not take magnesium without medical advice, because your ability to clear it is reduced. Creatine's monohydrate is third, and this is the one that surprises people. It's one of the best studied supplements in existence. With hundreds of trials, the evidence for strength and muscle is solid rather than hyped. 3 to 5 grams a day is the whole protocol. There is no need for expensive forms or loading phases. In healthy people with normal kidneys, it has a strong safety record. It is not only for young men in gyms, and there is growing interest in its role for older adults and for cognition. If you have kidney disease, speak to your doctor first before starting a creatine regimen. Safety is paramount. Fourth, omega-3. If you eat oily fish a couple of times a week, you probably do not need a capsule. If you never eat fish, a supplement is reasonable. The evidence is strongest for lowering triglycerides. The evidence for preventing heart disease in the general population is weaker than the packaging implies. It's not a panacea. Fish oil also has a mild blood thinning effect, which matters if you are already on blood thinners or heading for surgery. Fifth, ashwagandha, which has exploded in popularity for stress. There are reasonable short-term trials showing modest stress reduction, but here is what the adverts leave out. There have been documented reports of liver injury linked to ashwagandha. It can affect thyroid hormone levels, and it is not suitable in pregnancy or if you have a hormone-sensitive condition. Most trials are short, so treat it as a real substance with real effects, which means real risks, not as a harmless herb. Sixth, berberine, which the internet has nicknamed nature's version of the weight loss injections. Let me be precise here. Berberine does lower blood sugar to a modest degree, and there is a reasonable body of research on that. It is not remotely equivalent to a GLP-1 medication, and the nickname is pure marketing not grounded in science. More importantly, it interferes with liver enzymes that process many prescription medicines. It can change your drug levels. If you take anything regularly, do not start berberine without asking your doctor. The interactions are real and serious. 7th, collagen. The theory sounds appealing and the reality is more modest. It's often misunderstood. Your gut breaks collagen down into amino acids like any other protein, so it does not travel intact to your skin. There is some evidence of small improvements in skin hydration, mostly from studies funded by the collagen industry itself. There's also some evidence for joint discomfort, but again, keep your expectations grounded. It is not a fountain of youth, it is not dangerous, but it is expensive protein. If your overall protein intake is low, fixing that matters far more. 8th, probiotics. As I have said before, the effects are strain-specific and the evidence is quite mixed. The strongest use cases are quite narrow, such as reducing antibiotic-associated diarrhea. It's not a generic gut cure-all. Fermented foods are often a cheaper and more diverse starting point for most people. Start with the food first. Now the part I promised, and please do not skip it. Supplements are not automatically safe because they are over the counter. In most countries, they are regulated far more lightly than medicines. The amount in the bottle isn't always what's on the label. Contamination has been repeatedly documented in testing. Always look for third-party testing where you can find it. And they interact. St. John's wort reduces the effectiveness of a long list of medicines, including some contraceptives. Vitamin K changes how warfarin works. These are critical interactions that your doctor needs to know about. Calcium and iron block the absorption of thyroid medication and some antibiotics if taken at the same time. Space them out. High-dose fish oil, garlic, and ginkgo add to the effect of blood thinners. Grapefruit also interferes with dozens of drugs. So here is the practical instruction. Write down everything you take, including the ones you think of as natural. Show that list to your doctor and your pharmacist, not because they will disapprove, but because they need to keep you safe. So let us summarize honestly. Vitamin D is worth it if you are deficient. Test rather than guess and do not megadose. Magnesium helps if your intake is low. Creatine monohydrate has the strongest evidence for muscle and strength, 3 to 5 grams. Omega-3 matters if you do not eat fish. Ashwagandha has modest short-term evidence and real cautions for liver and thyroid. Berberine is not nature's Ozempic. Collagen is expensive protein. Probiotics are strain-specific and often oversold. And remember the rule that governs all of it. A supplement corrects a deficiency. It does not grant a superpower. The biggest returns in your health are still sleep, protein, fiber, movement, and muscle. No bottle replaces those basics. Please write down everything you take and tell your doctor. If this saved you some money or kept you safe, subscribe for more. Look after yourself and I will see you in the next one. Take care.